Hello everyone, welcome to the Jonesboro Open. This is the final Disc Golf Pro Tour of the year. This one is brought to you by Play It Again Sports and Prodigy Disc. My name is Paige Pierce.
And I'm Missy Gannon.
And we are ready to throw some long shots out here at the disc side of heaven. This course is in Jonesboro, Arkansas on a big private property. Rolling hills, lots of elevation, and very long shots.
Yeah, coming from the Northeast most recently, it's such a change, such a contrast from the wooded golf we were just playing to the wide open, windy conditions.
So on the feature card, round one, we'll have myself, Catrina Allen, Kat Mertsch, and Vanessa Van Dyken. And Kat Mertsch is a local. She is from Arkansas and first year out on the tour, 18 years old. So gonna see some good golf from her.
And we're starting off on hole 1, 380 feet, par 3. Shoots over this little valley here, kind of up over this hill, and then back down the hill. It just takes a really straight shot that's not going to get too much deviation to the left or right, because there are some thick bushes that will definitely impede your approach to this basket. Many of us are going to be able to reach this hole, so we're definitely looking to capitalize on the early birdie to start off.
This is one of the few times we've heard clapping this year. There was some of the amateur players that are allowed to spectate, but again, no spectators other than the AM players that have finished their rounds. So this is my Missy Gannon Undertaker.
What?
Just added it to the bag and loving it. It's got a nice stability, so into this headwind, it's still going forward and not flipping.
Dang. Yeah, that
Second
was good.
to tee from Minnesota,
Thanks
Catrina Allen.
Right, Catrina lining up with the driver.
Opting for that right side and trying to have it hyzer back in to the green, just a little bit wide. Looks like she'll find herself just outside the circle on the right
Third
side.
on the box, coming all the way from California, Vanessa Van Dyken.
All right, Vanessa up first, and she is going for a distance driver as well. This is her Hades. Ooh, more on that left side, but the same kind of flight path as Catrina. This is a beautiful flex shot, and she's going to be just short on circle's edge.
And the final player on the FEO feature card from right here in Arkansas, Kat Mertsch.
Yeah, we were dealing with a bit of a headwind on this hole. It's sometimes hard to tell on these longer fairways really what direction the wind is coming from, and sometimes it even changes halfway through. So that was really nice control from Vanessa. Kat also going with that flex line, holding it to hyzer back, and she's found herself inside the circle a little bit up the hill.
Yeah, and you can see those branches really waving up and down. It was a very windy day, round one. And honestly, just really swirly. It was very unpredictable to know if and when it was going to get a big gust. So Catrina can't convert on that, just outside the circle. Vanessa just a little bit closer.
Yeah, slight uphill putt, didn't quite get the height on it.
Now Kat with a downhill putt, 22 feet. Just a little bit on the left side, and she said that she was pretty nervous being on the feature card with the cameras. GK Pro out here filming the ladies. So I will pick up the only birdie on hole 1. And we're moving on to a par 4.
Yeah, you can even see initially the flags were kind of moving headwind, and now they're moving in more of a tailwind, so you just really never know what you're going to get out here. But hole 2, 605 feet, par 4. This is the more traditional route here, kind of going this hyzer gap and landing just about where the stake is, as far forward as you can, to give yourself with less than 250 feet up the hill to this basket. Kind of some low-hanging branches depending on where you land. There is also a left gap off the tee, but I have a feeling we'll see most people going that right gap.
Yeah, as long as you can get it out of the gap with a strong release and a little bit of hyzer, you're going to be in a good position. This is my Zeus trying to get as much distance as I can to make the upshot shorter. Catrina with her X3. Very similar shot. Yeah, it's easy. It's an easy hole if you get out of the gap, but if you clip a branch and drop down, you're definitely looking at an extra stroke, if not 2.
Yeah, and this course really requires you, oof.
It did kick to the right, though.
That's good, yeah. Requires you to really trust your game plan because there are so many blind shots on this course. You really just have to commit to that game plan and know your landing zones and just throw with confidence.
Cat a little bit wider. She's going to be more towards the right side, but still in the open. You'll kind of get to see the difference on that upshot from different positions on the landing zone. So Vanessa was out in the open, but she's quite a ways back. She's throwing her Hades from there, and she'll still be about 130 feet out. Catrina's close enough that she's opting for a PA1. Wide hyzer to go around those branches.
Just inside the circle.
Little bit of grip issues from Cat. She pulls it a little bit right, but it does get through. She's going to be about 38 feet. It looked like the circle's edge was just in front of where she landed.
Yeah, great approach. Right under the pin. Vanessa just needs to get this close. Walk away with her par.
All right. Ooh, just a tiny bit low, and it was a tailwind, so actually probably was a pretty good stroke. The wind just dropped it a tiny bit at the last moment. Catrina now from birdie for birdie.
Yeah.
Beautiful putt. And that's a great par save from Vanessa, hitting first available, getting 2 good shots up there, and just a tap in.
Great birdie from you as well, going back to back. Awesome way to start the round. Kat will walk away with her par as well. And now hole 3, 310 feet, par 3, does play slightly uphill, pretty wide open. There is OB all along the left side and just, some tricky trees if you end up left but inbounds. But again, pretty straightforward. You can attack it straight on. It's definitely at a distance that we can all reach. You can also attack it on more of a hyzer line. Really just thrower's choice here.
And this is my Missy, Gannon, Undertaker again. It was a little bit of a headwind, so I threw it more directly at the basket, but it did hyzer out, which kind of puts me over near those trees that you were talking about. Catrina, I have to assume she's aiming wider than I am. She's throwing a distance driver, looking for that spike in. Ooh, wow, and from our view, it looked so close. But it came in with a lot of speed still. She's going to be close to circle's edge on the back left.
Yeah, you could just see the wind playing with that and picking it up and kind of throwing it to the left side.
Vanessa opting for more of a flex shot, but doesn't quite get it over. So she's going to be out of bounds on the left side, just across the barbed wire fence, which at this event, there's lots of barbed wire fences lining the fairways, and at this event you do get 2 meters relief.
Cat kind of going for that baby flex line off to the right side, and she finds herself inside the circle just long.
So Vanessa, can she save par again?
Floats one up there, just doesn't quite get it to the left. For another birdie, just over the top. Probably dealing with a little bit of a headwind on that putt.
Yeah, definitely a headwind from that angle. So Cat on this side is looking at a tailwind.
Yeah, nice. Get the round going.
And she's putting with DX AVRs. Unsponsored player, currently throwing mostly Innova and Discmania though.
Forced to get to a knee. Trying to get under those branches, and you execute it perfectly. 3 for 3, man. Great way to start.
Thank you. All right, Catrina to save par, coming back at it.
Nice.
And a good hit right in the center. Comebacks are never fun, but you know, especially when it's windy and you're going from complete opposite wind types. Let's get a leaderboard check-in. So I'm 3 under through 3 holes, so I'm sitting on top currently, and then we have a few players at 1 under par, but the round has just begun, so it's kind of hard to say what's gonna be going down round 1 out here, especially with a couple island holes coming up.
Yeah. Hole 4, 630 feet, par 4. You're going to see most of us traditionally just going up the center gap. The main objective there is just get under this branch with enough height to carry you as far forward as you can. This stake right here is the 250-foot mark from the pin. So that's kind of what you're aiming for. And then you have to shoot up this hill to this elevated basket that is surrounded by OB along the back and the left side. And the wind can play some tricks on this hole for sure.
Yeah, very low ceiling off the tee here. I'm trying to go a little bit left, but this comes out even more left than I intended. But it does kind of sneak through up there, so I will have an open shot just quite a bit farther away than I was hoping. All right, Gabe, nice footage right here.
A little high, a little turned over. It can fight through the branches. I fall through. That is a very bushy tree with lots of low branches, so that's going to be a tricky out from there, and it might take away her opportunity to get to the basket.
Catrina trying to release this one nice and low, but still just barely hits those branches. And she's going to be short of that red stake, so she's looking at about 325, 350 to the basket. Vanessa now with her Hades again. Hyzer flip, gets that turn.
Ooh, yeah.
And
Very
it
pretty.
even starts flexing back, and this is past the red stake.
That's textbook. I mean, that stake Might impede her run-up if she needs one, but still just a great shot.
Catrina going wide down the right side. This is definitely the preferred route. As Missy said, there is OB on the left side near the basket, but she plays it a little too safe. It doesn't get that hyzer back in, so she'll settle for a 4 on this one. Is that Undertaker again? Just put it a little bit too high in that wind. Was trying to kind of spike it into the green, but the wind kind of stalled it out, so I'm going to be just inside circle 2 on an elevated pin.
Yeah, you see Kat just really trying to punch something through there and just stay safe and get some forward progress.
So Vanessa in the best position to try to card the birdie. She's going with her buzz from here. A little too much turn on that one, but she is safe. Very easy par. But I believe that will take the birdie out of play.
Kat trying to spike one in there. Just stop short of the OB. Catrina just trying to lay up.
I was about to lay up, and then I realized, whoa, there's actually no wind. Should I go for this? Decided not to, just in case the wind would pick back up, but I thought about it. Vanessa lays up as well. So Kat will have a tester for par with the rest of us right underneath it. All right. Great putts, both the last 2 holes from Kat.
All right.
So we got a star par on this one.
Thank you.
Yeah, this hole was the 5th hardest hole on the course, just averaging 4.78, so 0.78 over par. We did not see any birdies on the day.
Thank you.
In the morning.
Birdie Fuel Coffee. Oh,
He took the cup. Where's he going with the cup? That's the cup.
took the cup. BirdieFuelCoffee.com.
Hole 5, 345 feet, par 3, plays downhill the entire way, but there is OB all along the right side, also an OB sort of ditch just outside the circle that this is one of those decisions that you have to make. It's downhill, so I believe many of us can reach it. It's just a matter of how confident you're feeling and if you feel like going for it or laying up short and just settling for par.
So I definitely went for it every time in practice, so I was going to go for it again. There was a slight, not slight, there was a strong headwind. And yeah, you can see it just dropping right there.
Yeah.
So out of bounds on this hole will proceed to a drop zone, which is probably about 90 feet away.
Cat just looking to lay up and spike one in there and not get too far left because it does get a little obstructed over there, but it looks like, yeah, curling out to the right side for her approach to the basket.
Catrina is definitely running this one, trying to get onto the island for the birdie. It's a little nose up, so it starts hyzering out, and she is going to be out of bounds as well.
Looks like Vanessa has like a mid or an approach disc, so I assume she is just laying up as well.
Tiny bit longer.
Yeah, just short of Cat there.
Throws a floater with her challenger, and she will be right under it for a par.
From the drop zone.
Just floated it a little too much. I'm going to be almost on circle's edge on the backside. Cat kind of sees mine lift and throws it more direct, and that's a great upshot. She's going to be underneath it for the bogey.
Yeah, and this area of the course is sort of right in the middle where a bunch of different hills kind of converge, and the wind changes for sure in this area. Because you guys were dealing with a headwind on the tee, but then now it's more of a left to right.
All right, so I could not convert on that putt, so this is for my double bogey 5. Moving me back down to 1 under.
Catrina walks away with a bogey.
And we have one more island hole again here on hole 6, so trying to keep it on inbounds on this one.
Yeah, hole 6 is 315 feet, par 3, plays downhill the entire way. You can see, I mean, this actually what's happening in the video here with the wind, that's basically what we were dealing with on the tee here. Pretty stiff tailwind. You have to make it onto the island, or else you proceed to a drop zone on the other side of the water still. So even a challenging drop zone shot. Cat trying to hang it out wide, just doesn't quite have the height on it to swing back to the left. So she will be proceeding to the drop zone.
Vanessa with her Tour Series Meteor. Just gets just a little bit of turn and stays straight, and will also be out of bounds. Catrina now with the M4.
Makes a slight correction, kind of hangs it more inside, and that will do for the birdie.
This is my zone. Nice and beaten, it's not overstable, but just throwing it at the right side. Pretty similar shot to Catrina's is what I'm looking for.
Yep, and that should have the height on it to swing back left and do a little dance in the air.
Yeah, that was definitely a nerve-wracking little bounce there, but I do land safe. It is a tester distance, though.
Yeah, and you can see this drop zone shot. I mean, depth perception out here is such like a key thing to have dialed in. It's hard to really tell sometimes how far away you are, but oh no, oh no. There is a line painted on that side, so Vanessa did come up short.
So we're discussing the ruling, and it is a reshot from the drop zone if it goes out of bounds.
Okay.
From where it lost. Yeah. You want me to look? Sure.
Just needs to get a little more height on it. Yep, looks like she made the correction. There you go.
Almost too high.
Yeah, same there, but you both convert.
Yeah, on the high side of the basket. And Kat did the same thing. We were kind of laughing about that.
Kat will get the bogey.
For 6 for Vanessa.
No way.
Just a tiny bit too far to the right and does not stick. So she will be carding a 7. And we got a leaderboard check-in. So myself and Chrissy Fountain, who is from Austin, Texas, are both 2 under par. Chrissy's actually almost done with her round. Then we got a couple 1-unders and a couple evens, couple 1-overs. So the scores are tied out here. So these next stretch of holes will be definitely important.
Yeah, and hole 7 being 545 feet and a par 4, it is definitely a gettable birdie for all of us. It just requires a big shot off the tee. You can either go right of this tree that we're passing on the left side, or kind of play more of a inside hyzer line. It's really the second shot that requires a little bit more technical of a shot. It definitely sets up well for a forehand approach to this more open gap here. So yeah, just trying to get as much distance off the tee and set yourself up for an easier approach.
Yeah, and the left, if you do go left of the tree, I would say it's easier because it opens up that second shot. Less hyzer required, kind of more of a straight shot.
Yeah.
So you'll see most players opting for that, as Kat did. And I am also trying to go left of the tree and late release it, and we'll find the right side of the tree. I'm still happy with that, but I know that my upshot's going to be a little bit harder. Kat a little bit early out of her hand. She's going to clip that big tree and drop down a little bit shorter than she intended.
So just trying to keep it nice and high. Swings back to the left, and she will be wide open.
All right, so Kat's going standstill there. A little bit too much torque. It got a little wobble and doesn't get too much distance. So she'll have another approach into the green. Vanessa opting for the backhand.
Yeah, it looked like she was trying to maybe hang it out to the left side and Annie it in, but it actually fights through, and she's at least past the barbed wire fence on the green.
Kat going with an H1 here. Sidearm. She's got a nice turn on it, and that stable finish. She will be putting for a birdie. This is my Raptor, just trying to swing one in wide.
Nice, yeah.
A little bit low out of her hand, but she's still inside the circle. Looking to save her par. Vanessa, though, with a birdie putt here.
Just a little soft. She'll have a tap in par. Nicely converted on that birdie there.
All right, and she was closer than we all thought. Good par save there.
Catrina will also walk away with a birdie.
Vanessa with the par.
Yeah, this hole kind of played middle of the pack in terms of scoring. But hole 8 is 324 feet. It is a par 3, plays downhill most of the way, but the pin kind of sits back up on the hill around these bushes and trees on the right. It sets up perfectly for a nice sidearm shot, but you can absolutely get a backhand turnover there as well, as long as you hang it out wide enough. The objective is just to not land in those trees on the right side, because it can be a tricky approach out of there.
Yeah, it's pretty tough backhand hole, I would say, especially because 9 times out of 10, the wind is a headwind, so it's pushing you over farther into those trees. Catrina almost gets around it, but she'll be about circle 2's edge. This is my buzz here.
Yeah, a little straighter, but still pushing to the right. Yeah, is that...
That's inside the circle, yeah,
Mhm.
and that's my best shot on this hole in the last 3 years, so very excited about that one. Cat Mertsch going with a nice strike here. Nice late turn.
Yeah. Bites through. She'll be in circle 2 looking uphill at this elevated pin.
Vanessa with her pipeline.
Hanging it out really wide to the left, just trusting that disc to turn. That was a beautiful shot.
All right, so Cat up first at this elevated basket. From down the hill, she really had to get that one up. Just not quite high enough. Catrina had those branches in the way, so kind of just chooses to lay up.
Airball.
And not a good time to airball. I'm going to be in the woods now with a strong wind, headwind.
Yeah, from a knee putting up at the elevated basket. That took some skill there.
Definitely one of my better putts. Nose up into a headwind. Was very nervous about that one. All right, Vanessa with the
Sweet.
birdie. Such a good hole to get, especially a backhand player. It's a very tough hole for the backhand. Great birdie.
Kat and Catrina will put out their pars. We'll move into last hole of the front 9. And that is a 715-foot par 5. Main objective off the tee is to hit this first gap and then just try to push as far forward as you can up this hill to set yourself up for either like a flex sidearm to really get to the green, or just another backhand hyzer just to set yourself up into birdie position. You know, we'll see that it's a little soft, but not really. I mean, it takes 2 very well executed shots to get to this green for an eagle look.
And when I think of Jonesboro, this is the type of hole I think of where it's a controlled power shot with lots of elevation. I mean, like you said, this is the one of the first ones where you have to hit a gap, and Vanessa does so perfectly.
Yeah.
She's way down there. But yeah, if you don't hit this gap, you're instantly, I mean, par is like your best case scenario.
Yeah.
And Kat is a little bit right, but look at this. It filters through,
Okay.
and
yeah.
she's going to be in the center. She was definitely happy with that.
Result for sure.
This is my Zeus. Trying to hit it as hard as I can, flat. Pretty good ways up there, a little
Yeah.
short of the red stake. About 300 feet to the basket from there. Cat Pierce the gap, but it's turning over. She's gonna be pushing right of that main tree in the fairway. Not bad from over there. It's just a different angle, but it is open from over there.
Yeah. Cat from just short. Trying to flex one way up there and just make up for some of that lost distance. And yeah, that'll set up perfectly for an approach to the basket.
Vanessa going with the flex as well. And you guys can see her run up was like, she was in the bowl, but right in front of her, it goes severely uphill. So she has to put a lot of nose up angle on that shot. So pretty impressive to get that much distance. And a very similar spot from Kat.
Yeah, we'll see kind of what angle they're working with there. Yeah, you're way up this fairway.
Yeah, so mine doesn't have to be so nose up. I can really attack this with my Raptor. And
Whoa.
I'm just honestly trying to throw it
Yeah.
at the tree and hope that it gets a little skip.
Mm-hmm.
From where we're standing, we have no idea
Yep.
if that stayed at 60 feet or if it did get the skip.
Yeah, another blind shot for sure. One of many out here. Vanessa just kind of going a little long into those bushes. She is probably inside the circle, but she's going to be obstructed.
And Catrina just trying to baby a sidearm just around the corner, but doesn't quite get it far enough. So she's going to have an obstructed putt from there.
Yeah, it's really easy to skip down this hill. This pin sits right on the side of a hill. So you got to land something softly, kind of what Kat just did, just nice and soft.
So this is what Catrina's left with for the birdie. She decides to lay up and take the easy par. Vanessa looking uphill at it from a straddle stance. Just barely left.
Okay, and I have to mention that this is for eagle right here. So I mentioned it in the flout of the flight through the hole, but man, you're not going to see very many of these out here. That it just speaks to two incredible shots from you.
Yeah, thank you. I was definitely excited that I didn't even have to putt on that one. Definitely my best played hole on hole 9 here. So yeah, there it is. Front 9 of the first round coverage at the Jonesboro Open. I hope you guys enjoyed, and you can see there's lots of birdies out here we're trying to grab in this treacherous wind. Christy Fountain came in at a 3 under so far, so she's pushing for a spot on this feature card going into round 2. But all of us here on the feature card, along with the chase card, are still fighting. We got 9 holes left, so if you guys are enjoying this coverage, make sure you subscribe and tune into the back 9. We'll see you soon.